Yeah.
Hello, folks. We are live from the Rabos International Airport. Today is the 8th of June 2024. So, His Excellency President Joseph Nyoman Boakai and his entourage are expected to be in Liberia, specifically here at the Rabos International Airport, very shortly in 10 minutes' time. And they are coming from South Korea, specifically from Seoul, from attending the 2024 Korea Africa Summit. So the president is being accompanied with by most of the cabinet officials, including the agriculture minister, the minister of defense, and other officials of government, including the information minister, the presidential press secretary. So in the next hour, we will be breaking live to tell you exactly what is unfolding from the Rabos International Airport. So wherever you are, however you're following, this is Spoon TV and I'm Sylvester Tropley. Please kindly stay with us as we bring you exactly what is happening from the Rabos International Airport. So His Excellency President Joseph Nyoman Boakai left Liberia on the 1st of June this month, of course, and he's returning on the 8th of June. All right, so he actually went for the 2024 Korea Africa Summit. That summit gathered about 25 heads of African states to discuss issues surrounding trade, business, energy, agriculture, and of course networking. So South Korea is that country that hosted the 2024 Korea Africa Summit. So the president, His Excellency, is now coming back to Liberia. We hope that we get good news for Liberia. Of course, we have been following some of the African head of states, like the president of Kenya. All right, His Excellency President William Ruto also announcing some agreements or benefits from the summit. He earlier on, on his Facebook page, posted that he has managed to secure 238 million dollars for his country, meaning for the youth population of that country from the summit. Tanzania also did the same, and so for Liberia we are also hoping to hear good news from His Excellency President Joseph Nyoman Boakai from that 2024 Korea African Summit, and of course the presidential press secretary Manakula Fofana, including the information minister Honorable Jeremy Pia. Jeremy Pia, have been reporting that the Liberian government, through His Excellency President Joseph Nyoman Boakai, held a closed-door meeting with the South Korean president, of course, and there are some agreements, though it's not clear whether there were specific signature attached to that or they ever signed any agreement specifically that will benefit Liberia. So once they arrive here, these are some of the questions we'll be following as to what are those specific agreements that other countries did in terms of monetary value. All right, so we are here. We are posted, hoping to see the president in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So we are here exactly at the commercial area. We are not using the VIP. This is the same area that the president, when he was going, he used. He felt when he was going, he used the business class flight. Flight, and we also expecting to come with a business class flight. All right, so way over there you have the VIP lodge. We are far away from there. The president is using this road right there, so we are posted here. All right, as we go along, we will be bringing you some development from that summit and that is the 2024 Korea Africa Summit. So it is also good to note to tell exactly those officials of government that who have accompanied His Excellency President Joseph Boakai for that summit. Okay, so we are now hearing the sound of the flight. Of course, there you have the flight there, way above there. All right, the flight there, way above there coming. All right, after the bus which have been seen there. All right, but the flight is already here, and the president will be using the tunnel in and then come down. His official vehicles will be coming for him right here to take him to the official the VIP lodge. All right, but that is the flight way above that. There you have the flight way above that. There you have the flight landing. The flight is landing. All right, the flight is landing. So we come this way to so that you get a good picture of it. So folks, once the flight reaches this way, we will see it very clearly. But during that 2024 Korea Africa Summit, about 25 African leaders confirmed and attended that summit, and most of the countries, including Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Senegal, Morocco, have some specific agreements that could positively affect their countries. All right, so we are now here to see exactly what His Excellency and his entourage bring for us. So Tanzania secured $1 billion loan from the Korea Economic Development Cooperation Fund. That was reported in one of the news outlets, international news outlets, that Tanzania secured $1 billion loan from the Korea Economic Development Cooperation Fund. All right, so countries like Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Kenya, and Ethiopia signed 25 separate agreements, that's MOU, to promote cooperation in the field of trade, energy, mining, and other areas. But there you have the flat there. All right, there you have the flat over there. The flat is over there. All right. So this is ASCA. ASCA, the president is using ASCA. So we try to dress close to that flag so that you see it for yourself very well. But there you have the convoy of His Excellency President Joseph Boakai approaching this thing while the flight continues to land already. So ASCA is the flight that the president is using. All right. When the president was leaving this country, he used Kenyan Airway, and now he came with the ASCA. So here the president will disembark this flight and use the tunnel straight into the hull, and then he will get on his vehicle. His vehicles are already packed presidential motorcade is already here, and the flight just landed. The president and his entourage from the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit in Seoul, South Korea. Alright, so any moment from now on, the president will be disembarking his vehicle. So the summit, some of the main objectives of the summit that was organized from the 4th to the 5th of June in Seoul, South Korea. Some of the main objectives were to strengthen economic cooperation with Africa for development and growth. Of course, that's why you had several head of states from Africa gathered in South Korea for that summit. So the president came with ascot. So here, as you see this, the president would enter this area and then go straight. So you see, the president will use this tunnel to be able to use this route and go straight to his official vehicle and then straight at the VIP lounge. Alright, so we wanted to show you exactly the flight that the president came with, and you have seen it. It is the ascot. Alright, so we will get close to where his vehicles are, so that we can make our way at the VIP lodge. So with the some of the officials of government who accompanied His Excellency President Joseph Boakai to South Korea, were the Monrovia County Senator Darius DeLong accompanied the president to South Korea for that summit. Representative Ta Wongwei from Nimba County District No. 1 also accompanied the president. Foreign Minister Sarah Besro Nyanti also accompanied the president. Defense Minister Gerald George also went with the president. Agriculture Minister Alexander Nutter also went with the president. Liberian ambassador to Japan and Korea, Ambassador Blamo Nelson, was also present, and other schools of government officials went with the president.
I want to do you.
Yeah, the one was
Good.
okay. So we want to go to upstairs, bring the president out. So here the president will be getting off. So here the president will ride from this way. Here comes His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai there, arriving in his own salt land. His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai just arrived. Chief, no?
Oh, do that. Why put a walk on the head? What's up, man? I'm a guy.
So, so folks, we have to do this route as the president moves towards the VIP lodge. We are leaving the commercial area to the VIP lodge here at the Roberts International Airport. His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai has arrived in Liberia from South Korea, specifically from attending the 2024 Korea Africa Summit. And we keep moving. Sorry for the handshakes of the camera. We are running. So here the president will just back his vehicle right there. So you have officials of government here waiting. The minister is seeing the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Minister Sylvester Grisby, who will receive the president. I see the president's granddaughter also here to give flower to her grandfather. So that's it. So here, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Minister Sylvester Grisby, will receive His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai. And there you have the handshake. The president proceeds. So the president's granddaughter giving him flower. Jalina Boakai. This is an amazing moment where you have the president being received. Well, folks, check it goes. Check.
attending South Korea.
So folks, there you have it.
That's it.
So here you have Senator Darius Dillon, who accompanied the president. Honorable Darius Dillon, welcome back to Liberia, sir. So that's Honorable Darius. Welcome to Liberia, sir.
Thank you, thank God.
It's good that you were one of those senators who accompanied the president.
Yes, I did. I'm not a official spokesman.
Yes, but you represented the House of Senate. You represented the House of Senate who accompanied the president. Sure.
I used to know protocol. I was part of the president delegation of South Korea. Not the official spokesperson.
We know that you are not speaking for the president, but you representing the first branch of the Liberian government.
I will brief the Senate and then I will speak to the president.
But how was the trip so far? How was the trip? Was it good or bad?
Go talk to the president.
What the trip good or bad?
You're not getting it. You're not brief protocol today.
No, we don't want to know whether the trip was good or it was bad. Okay.
The chief executive will brief the media.
Okay.
I think let's respect the protocol.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so that's Monrovia County 1, Monrovia County Senator Darius Dillon, who accompanied. But we have to look for the information minister. The information minister was one of those cabinet members, ministers who went with the president in South Korea. Honorable Minister Jeremy Pia, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you.
How was the trip?
Good.
Okay.
Very exhausting.
Good.
I've been traveling for the last 30 hours. So it's really tough, but it was a very good trip. The Korea Africa Summit, the one that includes the heads of state, was the first ever. And it was good that Liberia was a participant. Not just a participant, but we came back very fulfilled. And in a couple of days, we all learned what some of the achievements for the trip.
So Honorable Pia, Liberians want to know exactly why is that one big specific news, like in terms of agreement, in terms of monetary value. Why is that news from South Africa, South Korea?
More than 6 MOUs signed between the Liberian party and multinational companies in Korea. But here is a big one. Over 48 heads of state were present. Not all of them had the chance to do bilateral with the president of Korea, because it is at the bilateral you have the opportunity to make specific requests, specific demands, and you can have whatever the results could be. So we were able to have the bilateral with the president of South Korea, and just in summary, rather than going into all the other details, just the commitment that South Korea will support the efficient implementation of the arrest agenda is everything, because the agenda arrest will deal with roads, it will deal with infrastructure, tourism, all the pillars that you imagine are part of the arrest agenda. There's a commitment to assist. The next step would be to establish a joint commission. The joint commission is an establishment or a mechanism for follow-up. And one thing that we know was an error in the past that we're not allowed to happen now is that when we go abroad and we have understanding or agreements, we will follow up to the letter. Because one thing to just say we have an agreement, it is another thing to have the fruit of that agreement. This administration, we've already set up a team led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs that will follow up to ensure the Joint Commission is established. The President of Korea, one thing he said clearly, develop and submit to us a proposal on road development. Because President Boakai made the case that road is a cardinal agenda for his administration. Right away, we're doing that. In fact, the Minister of Public Works or the Ministry of Public Works is far ahead of that. So we submit that so that the massive interest we have in advancing our road network in the country can be achieved. But you know what the arrest agenda is? We have a commitment that South Korea will support the implementation of that agenda.
So, Honourable Minister, I know maybe all my colleagues have questions, but I'm one of those who followed one of the head of African states who do the summit. So, like, for example, in the case of Kenya, Kenyan President recently posted on his Facebook page that he secured about $138 million United States dollars from the summit intended for imparting the youthful population for that country. So, in that case,
I don't know how he did that because.
So, I wanted you to attach the value to the agreement.
You know what it takes to implement the arrest agenda? That money you call it just baby chicken change. So that's not why we're interested. First of all, Korea has committed to spending $24 billion on all the African countries. $24 billion. $10 billion of those amounts will go directly to the African countries through different projects. The remainder $14 billion will be spent on Korean companies that are interested in investing in Africa. That's how that $24 billion will be spent. So the mechanism on who did team, the $100 million you're talking about, I don't know, but I can clearly tell you that when we get the fruit of the bilateral agreement, it's not going to be $124 million. It's going to be millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Is there any duration attached to that? The money you just spoke about, in terms of distribution, the $24 billion meant for African states.
We spend that money between now and 2030.
Now and 2030.
Okay. Thank you so much. So that's Liberia's Information Minister, Jeremy McPeer, speaking to. But we also we have the Presidential Press Secretary, Madam Kula Fofana, who also traveled with the President. Madam Secretary, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you very much.
Can you summarize exactly the good news for Liberia from the summit?
Well, it's unfortunate I can't summarize good news of 1 week in a few seconds, but I will try. It has been a really wonderful time in South Korea. Very many good news. The president had an exciting time. The delegation, the people of Korea, they were very excited to meet our president and delegation. Some of the good news include support in many sectors. I'm sure you've heard today that the delegation signed about 7 MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, on many areas, including energy, agriculture, financial sector, and many more. And even the president was very excited of his visit. There were 3 key business summits held with the president and members of his delegation. He also met several other leaders, his counterparts from different African countries, but more importantly, he had a meeting with the president of South Korea, and it was a very important bilateral talk. They talked a lot about many different things, but more importantly, it was a very fruitful trip, and the president is excited with the visit.
So you are talking about when was it into force?
In fact, according to the MOU, it was signed yesterday. So beginning the signing, so it takes effect immediately after the signing. There are different timelines. There's some that are 2 years, there's some that are longer, there's some that are shorter. But it opens doors for those investors in Korea to come to Liberia and begin to talk on the ground and looking at the different sectors with their interest in.
With all of those MOUs signed, what is the biggest MOU?
Well, I mean, all of them are very important on energy, agriculture, food production, and whatnot. But most importantly, the meeting that was held between the president of Liberia, our president, and the president of South Korea, a bilateral meeting, that was the biggest moment, because in that meeting, they talked about a number of different things, including the roads, situation, infrastructure. Right now, one of the things that the president of South Korea is waiting on our team for is to culminate all of our different key agreements, particularly those sectors that our interest is high in, so we can send it there and that they're able to send support. But there were many very brilliant meetings that were held.
I'm concerned about health.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Health was a key component of those conversations as well.
So the president had I think it's security sector, and the president called for some recommendations to the community about, security food access, talking about Africa. Africa has more, but they are not getting much. So what do you think is the way forward with food security according to the president's?
I think there are a number of ways in which we as Africa, or particularly Liberia, can strengthen food security. That's one of the reasons why one of the MOUs signed specifically on agriculture, and that will invest in agricultural research. So this MOU, once the implementation starts, you'll have our team deep dive into the sector in terms of rice production, for example, or cassava. In fact, the agriculture minister had a very good meeting, He actually had a meeting with a company in South Korea that only do starch. They use the cassava for production of starch. He also met several different partners in the rice area. So with that level of industrialization in the agriculture sector, it will help us to do long-term sustainability of our food sector, because if we just rely on the subsistence farming that's been done regularly, it will be a challenge.
So looking at the $10 billion that is supposed to come to African countries, what specifically Liberia will benefit from that $10 billion?
Well, as I've said earlier, and I'm sure you listened to the information minister, part of what we are doing, Liberia is playing a key role in the conversation around those key areas: energy, food security, road connectivity, and infrastructure development. And our portion now is to continue to ensure that there's sustained investment so that we have outcomes.
So why is that different in terms of benefit between South Korea, Somalia, and America?
Well, there are two different countries. South Korea is one country, and the United States is another country. In fact, there are lots of similarities, and there are also some differences. With the United States, they are ongoing, because the United States didn't have earlier, there are already ongoing conversations. In fact, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and a delegation went to Angola, because as part of that meeting in the US, there was a team that went to Angola to ensure that they have conversation on the energy sector. Those events are happening, the conversations happening, and lots of back and forth going to a point of reaching to an agreement with what kind of investment to do in the energy sector. For South Korea, it has just happened, the delegation has just returned, and those ones have just started to work. So I'm sure both of them are all in the interest of ensuring that Liberia is getting there. And the president is interested in making sure that the livelihood of the Liberian people is
Thank you.
Well, finally, I want to thank all of you all for holding the ground, for keeping us updated, but also for following up and informing the Liberian people what's happening. We look forward to engaging. And I also like to inform you that His Excellency will come to you guys shortly before he leaves to the program hash. So he will speak to the press. Anyways, thank you all. Look forward to the engagement.
Thank you so much. So, Fuda Kokona is the Presidential Press Secretary speaking to us. Earlier on, we talked to His Excellency, that's Information Minister Jeremy Pierre, telling us about a Liberian government signed 6 agreements. Though he was not specific as it relates to the monetary value, but he said the 6 agreements that Liberian government signed with South Korea, those agreements are directed to energy, agriculture, roads, and those projects relating to the arrest agenda. So we are hoping once the president comes out to ask him, perhaps he will be definite about the monetary value. Those 6 agreements that, according to the information minister, signed between Liberia and South Korea. What is the monetary value, and how soon can we expect the agreement to come to fruition? So these are some of the questions we will be asking once the president comes out of the lodge right there. So folks, we are here live from the Rabos International Airport. This is Spoon TV, and I'm Sylvester Tropley, Information Minister. Jerry McPeer is reporting that from the summit, 24 billion was allotted to Africa, that is the African countries, and from that 24 billion, Liberia is in there to take something. No, we don't know exactly what will be allotted to Liberia from that 24 billion United States dollars from the summit. So we are here. We hope that we get more details of that agreement and that amount of money announced by the information minister.
The summit is the first of its kind. And if the president if Liberia stands to benefit, one tangible development, what will be that development that Liberia will benefit from South Korea? But to listen to the press secretary, she said South Korea contributed almost all of the sectors in the country.
So folks, we are here awaiting the President, His Excellency, President Joseph Nyoma Boakai, to return from the lodge, inside the lodge, to speak to the media. So we are here posted. All right. So one thing that Liberians would love to know exactly is that the two-day summit that was held in Seoul, South Korea, it is good that the government, through the information minister, is announcing that there are 6 agreements that were made during the summit, and those 6 agreements are affecting agriculture, road, energy, and other areas of the Liberian government. So now, to what extent do we see this? These agreements coming to fruition or reality? Is there any specific amount in exchange from the agreement between Liberia and South Korea? How soon can we see this happening in Liberia? And also the 24 billion United States dollars that the information minister spoke about to be distributed among African countries. How much each country is expected to receive, or how much does Liberia have in that amount? So moving forward, these are the questions we will be asking, so that we know specifically the impact of the summit from South Korea. Don't forget, the president was accompanied by several government officials, key government officials to be specific. We earlier on saw Senator Darius DeLong, who represented the House of Senate, who followed the president in South Korea, though he reserved all comments, stressing that the Liberian government, through its official spokesperson, will address the nation on that. But we expect that some agreements, legislative agreements, to be made from that summit. We also know that the agriculture minister, Minister Alexander Noted, also followed the president. And agriculture is very key to the growth and development of Liberia right now. So what was that specific agreement that the Liberian government had with the South Korean government? And we also know that the defense minister, Minister Jeremy George, also followed the president. All right, the foreign affairs minister, Minister Sarah Besrenyanti, also went with the president. To the extent that you also have the ambassador, foreign minister, to Japan and South Korea, but also in internet. So we expect, a specific agreement, a big news from that summit. So folks, please stay with us once the president comes out. Once the president comes out, we will be interrogating, asking a few questions as it relates to the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit.
That word was kind of added.
Yeah, so folks, stay with us.
So we stay with President Boakai.
We await the president to come out of the VIP lodge
We have lined up His Excellency.
and speak to us.
Playing a crucial role. His Excellency made an official statement at the Korea-Africa Summit among several African leaders. We also had bilateral meetings with the Korean leader, also the Kenyan leader,
generally, like how was the trip and stuff like that. So your planning to have how the trip and teachers and stuff like that. Because he has to also put the book of cash.
Alright, so we've just been briefed. His Excellency right here, any moment from now, members of the press. We told you earlier he's expected to take farewell to Liberian Muslims in Saudi Arabia.
So folks, please stay with us. Any moment from now on, the president will be coming out.
So be with us, His Excellency will soon address the press recent trip to South Korea. Monetary value.
Alright, so His Excellency the President, any minute will make his way out.
By the way.
Still with His Excellency President Joseph Boakai. So as we watch that time, it's already right by me. We have a few questions lined up. So we'll be posed to His Excellency. What major concern you have now? Minister of Information, Press Secretary.
And that's the Foreign Affairs Minister, Minister Nyanti there, Gori. Over there you have the Ambassador at Large, Ambassador Charles Slender.
We still have
Mr. Augustine Corner is the senior advisor to the president over there with the cap. So, folks, we are still here. Any moment from now on, the president will be coming out. At which time we expect to asking a few questions on the trip.
CSA Director General Josiah Jokai, Minister of Information Jerry McPia, Presidential Press Secretary several officials that are here to receive sentences. Vice President Boakai will make it way out now.
It's time. Welcome His Excellency Joseph Boakai.
Two concerns. Parents are eager to know the
So, Minister Mamaka Berit is the Minister of State portfolio. She's chatting with the protocol, Madam Winifred Dishu.
Across the corridors. Wheels Muslim background show his making frantic efforts to ensure that this Muslim delegation that will shortly be Makkah will also be in full gear as they shortly Yes, Excellency the President has been interacting.
So there you,
yes, His Excellency.
His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai is making his way out now. So President Joseph Newman Boakai, His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai is being accompanied by the
media.
Excellency, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Sylvester Chiropla and I work for the Spoon Network. Welcome back. While you were away, many Liberians were concerned about a specific agreement from the 2024 Korea Africa Summit held in Seoul. Because the witnessed other African head of states like Kenyan president who announced a few days ago that he secured 138 million for his country. So please, can you tell us exactly what were those specific agreements made between Liberia and South Korea?
How was the visit, Mr. President?
Well, I don't know about it, 38 million. This was a summit. This is Korea's first Korea-Africa Summit, which brought the two people from the two continents together. And the idea was to see how we could work to tackle a lot of global issues, investment and confidence building, Africa and Korea with their technical knowledge and so. And there were no, except for general announcement about 14 billion and 10 billion. Announcements were made, so we did not go for us to have specific, except for the investment forum where we met investors, the number of investors who are interested in coming to Africa, to Liberia, to invest in so many areas. with technological transfer, but also the issue of scholarship, helping Liberians to go to Korea to learn, and Koreans coming here to do business.
Mr. President, my name is Theophilus from Cool FM. Liberia has this long-standing bilateral ties with South Korea, which date back since the 1950s. At one point in time, Liberia provided logistical support to the Korean military. Was that effort made, sir?
Koreans make reference to that. They were very grateful. And as a matter of fact, talking with the president, he was able to even capture the arrest agenda, and he said he was going to support that. The Koreans are very conscious of what has happened in the past between them and Liberia, and they're grateful for it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you all.
So His Excellency President Joseph Boakai answering questions from
His Excellency.
for journalists here. So folks, that's it. Thanks so very kindly for following this. Here he will get in his vehicle. So folks, that's it. Thanks so very kindly. This is Point TV with me, Sylvester Chirople. Thank you so much for following.